So, Candy, next item's separated bike lanes. So the next item is feasibility of a pilot project for separated bike lanes on Richmond Street and or Adelaide Street.
I'll move it.
We have 5 speakers so far. Miroslav Glavic, Wayne Scott, Andrea Garcia, Hamish Wilson, and Anthony Adelaide and Abigail Humphreys. Okay. So, Miroslav Glavic. Is he here? Nope. Moving right along. Wayne Scott. So, you have 5 minutes, sir?
Testing. Thank you. Hopefully this is the last time I have to join you folks. I'm sorry if I said the last time I was here it'd be the last time, but situations have changed. I'm going to read this instead of winging it the way I usually do. One greatly appreciates the opportunity to express before this committee some thoughts on the on-street bike lane project proposed for Adelaide and or Richmond Streets. First, however, I should explain that although I have spent many years deputing before committee as Automotive Dependence Reduction Officer for the internationally recognized Toronto-based not-for-profit active transport think tank HOOF&CYCLE, I officially retired from that role at the end of last year and therefore wish to stress that my comments here today are strictly my own. The need for cycling safer east-west infrastructure in Toronto's downtown core remains as obvious today as it was 30 years ago when I first became actively involved in trying to help establish a more efficient urban mobility system for our beloved, in my case, lifelong hometown of Toronto. Whether such infrastructure improvements need to be separated from other traffic is another question entirely, and one that demands that any definitive street-level answers also take into account the city's overall transportation vision for the future. Unfortunately, as evidenced by decisions this committee reached at your June 23rd PWIC meeting, such no longer seems to exist. Years of related observed experience and taxpayer-funded consultation have been suddenly abandoned in favor of a new direction in the way Toronto will attempt to deal with our decades-old, yet still growing transportation crisis. Mayor and personal friend Rob Ford has endorsed that shift, but in a one-on-one phone meeting he invited me to, which took place on August 12th, 11, he disavowed any role in the way that change has been handled, stating, "I've got committee chairs to look after that stuff." As such, his worship directed me to meet with PWIC chair to discuss 3 specifically related issues that both the mayor and I had agreed demanded answers. Mayor Ford also requested that I get back to him with the results of that meeting. Committee Chair Denzil Minnan-Wong was gracious enough to see me in his City Hall office on September 29th, 11. Sadly, however, the PWIC's guiding voice informed me that one of the specific issues that the mayor said he was seeking more information on, motorized delivery vehicles being allowed to park illegally but unfined in bike lanes, was not within his jurisdiction. The second, regarding the possible involvement of members of the mayor's staff in crafting just how the PWIC's altered bikeway network policies were forwarded to council, he chose not to comment upon. Fair enough. However, it was his response to the third issue that caused me much concern. When I raised the then-to-fore publicly non-discussed possibility that sharrows might be required for safety reasons in the curb lanes of the 5 motor vehicle lanes set to be returned to Jarvis Street, he summarily dismissed the subject by stating that council had already decided the issue.
Sir?
When I persist...
So, we are talking... Oh, sorry, you're at 3:20, so I pressed the... Well, I don't know, that's for you to answer, but I would like you to restrict your comments to the feasibility of separated bike lanes on Richmond Street and Adelaide. So when you start talking about Jarvis, you're getting off the topic of well, you are in view...
No, I'm not, because you tied the removal of Jarvis Street the bike lanes on Jarvis Street to your design or your supposed design for the quadrangle of separated bike lanes.
So the chair is ruling that you have to specifically address.
So you're silencing me like you silence staff and you silence the public when you remove the bike lane, when you voted to rescind approval for the bike lane.
Sir, I'm starting your time again, sir, and you have to restrict your comments or I will turn your mic off again.
I'm sure you will.
All right?
Yep.
And if I turn your mic off again, you'll be finished. Your time
You'd like to think so.
Your time will
Okay,
be finished. Sir.
one would humbly, I'll jump down to the end. How's that for you? Can you handle that?
I'd appreciate that.
Okay. One would humbly suggest that if the mayor is indeed correct in his assertion that he and his office, that's not how we work, Rob Ford has assured me, had nothing to do with the questionable procedure process that led to the recommending of a policy that knowingly makes Toronto's streets less safe, this committee has been derelict in its duty to all citizens of Toronto. If such is the case, one would further suggest that an independent public inquiry be held into just how this Bikeway Network 2011 update was first envisioned and perhaps more importantly, endorsed and recommended to Toronto City Council by the PWIC. My deepest thanks to all that have heard what I said here today. Thank you. Any questions?
So the next deputy
Thank
is
you.
Mr. Wayne Scott.
That's me.
Oh, pardon me, Andrea Garcia.
Forget this.